What if the way you see your body isn't actually your idea? What if the mirror has been lying to you? Not because there's anything wrong with you, but because the system was designed that way. Beauty standards feel natural, obvious, unavoidable. We grow up believing them, measuring ourselves against them, chasing ideals that seem inherent. But here's the shocking truth. They were built, they were marketed, and they keep changing. Not because human bodies suddenly transform, but because profit drives the narrative. Every trend, every ideal, every subtle shift in what's considered attractive is carefully calculated to keep you chasing, comparing, questioning yourself. Stay with me. Once you see this clearly, once you understand how these rules were made to control perception, you'll never look at your body the same way again. And the freedom that follows is unlike anything you felt before. Beauty standards were never about beauty. Let's start with a truth that might surprise you. Beauty standards have never been neutral. They were never truly about celebrating human diversity. By the 1950s, full curves were celebrated. The 1990s swung back to extreme thinness. And in the 2000s, curves returned. But only the right ones, measured by very narrow, rigid rules. It isn't a reflection of what humans find attractive. It's manipulation. Each shift creates a new problem to fix, a new standard to chase, and a new way to sell products, ideas, and approval. Beauty standards were never about beauty. They were about control. The body ideal changes. The pressure never does. Here's a fact most people don't realize. If beauty standards were truly natural, they wouldn't change this fast. But they do, because they're shaped by industries, fashion, advertising, beauty, wellness, and now social media. Each shift creates a new problem your body supposedly has, and then conveniently sells you the solution. Who decides what's beautiful? Let's be honest. Beauty standards have historically been decided by a very small group of people, mostly wealthy, mostly powerful, mostly not representative of the world they were selling to. For decades, magazines and runways showcased one type of body. Exposure creates belief, and belief creates pressure. The psychology behind it. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Psychological research shows that repeated exposure to idealized images doesn't just influence preferences, it shapes self-esteem. Young women and teenagers are particularly vulnerable. The more perfect bodies they see online, in magazines and on social media, the more critical they become of their own bodies. Our brains are wired to respond emotionally before logically. Repetition creates internalized standards. Comparison becomes automatic. Self-doubt creeps in without permission. Logic doesn't protect you. Reason doesn't shield you. Emotion drives the experience. That's why beauty standards are so powerful, and why breaking free from them requires more than knowing the truth. It requires unlearning the conditioning itself. The rise of social media and the illusion of choice. At first, social media felt like freedom. Anyone could post. Anyone could be seen. Anyone could redefine beauty. And for a moment, it worked. But then algorithms took over. And algorithms don't reward diversity. They reward engagement. Not because people are fake, but because attention is currency. The new beauty standard is effortless perfection. This is the most dangerous shift yet. The modern beauty standard isn't just perfection. It's perfection that looks effortless. Flat stomach, but not trying too hard. Curves, but not too much. Clear skin, but natural. Confidence, but not loud. It's a contradiction. And contradictions are impossible to satisfy, which means the goal is never to reach it. The goal is to chase it. Why this affects men too? This isn't just a women's issue. Beauty standards hit men differently, but just as deeply. Muscular but lean, tall but relaxed, strong but emotionally controlled. Men are told to look powerful without appearing insecure, to care without caring too much. Different rule. Same pressure, same damage. The cost we don't talk about. Here's what beauty standards actually cost us. Time, money, mental health, joy. People delay living until they fix themselves. They avoid photos, avoid relationships, avoid experiences, not because they aren't worthy, but because they were taught they aren't ready yet. The lie of confidence comes after. We're told confidence comes after weight loss, after clear skin, after the glow up. But that's backwards. Confidence doesn't follow change. Change follows confidence. The people who appear confident aren't confident because they fit the standard. They're confident because they stopped asking permission. The truth about representation. Representation isn't about replacing one ideal with another. It's about removing the hierarchy entirely. No one should sit at the top. No single look should define worth. Real representation shows bodies existing, not performing, not proving, not apologizing, just being. Why beauty standards are starting to crack. Here's the hopeful part. People are questioning the system. Consumers are smarter. Audiences are louder. And authenticity is starting to outperform perfection. Brands that refuse to evolve are losing trust. Creators who show real bodies are gaining loyalty, not because people lowered their standards, but because they raised their awareness. What actually makes someone attractive? This might surprise you. Research consistently shows that perceived attractiveness increases with confidence, comfort, authenticity, self-assurance, not symmetry, not size, not flawlessness. People are drawn to ease, to presence, to someone who looks like they belong in their own skin. The most unexpected truth of all, here's the reality no one talks about. Beauty standards only hold power because we let them. They exist in our minds, in our comparisons, in our self-judgment. The moment you start questioning them, the moment you stop measuring yourself against impossible ideals, their control begins to fade. Freedom doesn't appear overnight. It isn't flawless from the start. It's gradual, step by step, choice by choice. Every time you celebrate yourself without apology, every time you choose comfort over criticism, every time you wear, move, or show up for you, you chip away at the old rules. And slowly, life stops being about what others think is perfect and starts being about what feels real, what feels human, what feels like you. What this means for you, this doesn't mean you have to give up fashion or makeup or fitness or the way you love expressing yourself. It means those things stop deciding your value. They shift from rules you follow to tools you choose. Style becomes expression, not obligation. Movement becomes care, not punishment. Beauty becomes play, not pressure. You get to dress up because it feels good, not because you're trying to fix something, not because you're trying to earn approval. And when that shift happens, everything changes. You stop waiting to feel worthy. You stop postponing joy. You start showing up as you are, right now. Not perfected, not polished, just a present. And that presence, that's where real confidence begins. Outro. The real standard. The unexpected truth about beauty standards isn't that they're impossible to reach. It's that they were never designed to be reached at all. Because someone who feels confident doesn't buy insecurity. And someone who is at peace doesn't need permission to exist, to be seen, or to take up space. That's why the system keeps shifting the goalposts. New trends, new flaws to fix, new versions of almost enough. So the real rebellion isn't changing your body to match the standard. It's questioning why the standard exists in the first place. It's choosing self-trust over comparison, comfort over constant correction, presence over perfection. When you stop chasing approval, you reclaim time, energy, joy, and suddenly life doesn't feel like something you're waiting to qualify for. If this video made you pause, if it cracked open a belief you've carried for years, hit like, share this with someone who needs the reminder, and subscribe for more stories that challenge what we've been taught to accept without question. Because beauty isn't a rule you have to follow. It's a spectrum, and you already belong on it.